Hello, welcome to a new video. Today it's time for a tag, and this tag has been created by Ash over at Ashley's Bookish Life and Gem over at Gems, Creeps and Geeks. It's very hard not to say Bookish Gems because I've been so used to that. So I was actually tagged by Ash, but both of them together created this tag, and I got to kind of see into their planning process because I knew it was happening. I just didn't know any of the prompts until they'd finished planning, and it was great. But they have both posted this video. I'm going to leave both of their links in the description box below, along with the links to the actual videos. But I'm going to do it. So let's go. So first up is Everybody's Dead, a character with a tragic backstory. So for this, I'm choosing This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. So basically in this series, monsters are created from tragic things happening. So like someone being violently killed is gonna bring about a certain monster. So these monsters come about from a tragic backstory essentially. So yeah. Next up is Roll Persuasion with Advantage, an auto-buy author. I can't just choose one for this. I could choose many for this, but I'm going to give you three. So first up, no surprise, it's Ali Hazelwood. Literally anything this woman brings out, I'm buying. I don't read a Megaverse at all. She has just brought out, or is bringing out, a Megaverse book. Am I reading it? Of course I am. She wrote it. Then we have Hollyborn. Literally, I will say, mostly her YA. Her adult, the first adult I read by her, I wasn't the biggest fan on. So I haven't auto-bought all of her adult books. But her YA books, whenever a new YA book is coming out, I pre-order it or I buy it as soon as it comes out. So she is definitely an auto-buy author. And I also don't not buy her adult. I just wait to see what it's going to be about. And then of course F.T. Lukens. Me and Gem have buddy read all three of the books so far, and we've both pre-ordered the next one. So obviously F.T. Lukens. It's just cozy and I love it. But I could also say J. Kristoff, Cassandra Clare, Sarah J. Maas. I could keep listing, but I'm not gonna. Next up is Me and the Boys Gonna Mess You Up, an ensemble cast you love. This is where I am going to be basic. Anything by Cassandra Clare. I'm going to say the Shadowhunters, because Swordcatcher, I feel like we've not properly met all the characters we could meet yet in the first book. But Shadowhunters, this has the best ensemble cast. I absolutely adore all of them. So much. And then anything by Sarah J. Maas. I'm going to say I think my favourite character-wise is all of the Throne of Glass books, because there are so many characters you meet throughout the series and I just love them all. But this one has an amazing ensemble cast. ACOTAR also has an amazing ensemble cast. So anything by Sarah J. Maas. I rolled a 1. A character that tries their best but keeps failing. I was a bit stuck on this one at first, and then I was looking at my shelves and I looked at this series and instantly was like, yes, it's the Spellslinger series by Sebastian de Castell. I lose track of how many times things go wrong for this character because his plan doesn't go to plan. Just, this series is great. Next we have Roll to Tame the Floof, a book with a dangerous creature you'd love to have as a pet. So because he's a dinosaur, I was gonna go for the Crisposaurus by Tom Fletcher. But I feel like he would never be dangerous to anyone. So I can't say him. So instead I'm going for Abraxas, which is Manon's Wyvern in the Throne of Glass series. I'm holding up Empire Storms because it was the nearest one I had. But I believe he comes into it in Air of Fire, and then he's in Queen of Shadows, and then Empire Storms. This was the nearest book I had. Next up is DM Rolls Unexpectedly, a book that surprised me. Gem's going to be very happy with my answer for this because it was We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. Now, when she suggested me reading this, because she thought I would like it, I had read Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires and hated it. And I'd read Horror Store and quite enjoyed that. And I was a bit on the fence about trying any more Grady Hendrix, because I think the reason I liked Horror Store so much was because it was set out like an IKEA catalogue, or rather not IKEA, because copyright, but you know what I mean. But she recommended this, and it was on the Audible Plus catalogue, so I didn't have to pay for it. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to listen to it. I'll give it a go. I trust Jem's judgment. And I'm glad I listened to her, because this book was great. I wasn't expecting to love this, but I did. It was so good. And I am completely with Jem on recommending this to people. It also did give me the vibes of American Satan, which is a film with Andy Biersack from Black Veil Brides and Ben Bruce from Asking Alexandria, which is a terrible film, but I absolutely love it. Next up, I Would Like to Rage, which always makes me think of Travis as Grog every time. A character with anger issues. So this one, I actually really struggled with this, like really bad. I was on FaceTime with Ash when I was planning what books I was picking for these, and I was like, I can't think of any. And then I looked over at my middle grades. Mr. Mollusk from Malamander by Thomas Taylor. He is always angry, especially around Herbie. So, yeah. Next is Hip Thrust for Seduction, a spicy book. I couldn't not pick anything by Katie Robert, essentially. I will say, whilst this does have a lot of spice and smut, this one was basically every chapter. So anything by Katie Robert. I have also read The Dragon's Bride, and that was spicy. So yeah. And then finally, how do you want to do this? A book with a satisfying ending. So for this, I'm choosing You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogle. I really liked everything about this book, and especially the ending. The ending was great. Like most romances, you're going to be satisfied with the ending because it's very much the generic, they meet, they fall in love, they stay together, there's the slight conflict, but then there's the happy ending. This one was very much, they're already engaged when this book starts, but they hate each other. And they are both trying to figure out a way to get out of this engagement. And in doing so, they end up starting to communicate after a lot of miscommunication. And they may or may not fall back in love. It's great. I love it. And then the final one is Gather Your Party. Tag 3 friends. So I'm going to tag 3 people. I'm going to tag Chloe from Chloe Reads Books, Emily from Emily Kathleen Reads, and Kaz from Cats and Cameras. Now, if you don't do D&D, I know for a fact Chloe and I think Emily do not. It doesn't matter. Like, honestly, you don't need to know anything about D&D to do this tag. It's just a bit of fun. But if you don't want to do that, that is absolutely fine. Obviously, I'm not going to force you. But if you do want to do it, great. Please tag me, whether I've tagged you or not. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.